Greetings, everybody. Day is definitely celebrated here. Yo, what's up, y'all? Happy New Year's. Day is definitely turning up out there. I'm thankful to be in a sober and clean state of mind. I remember the years of going out and going to the club and having my drink and toasting and doing. Now I'm just thankful to even see it the way this world set up. That's real. Some people didn't make it. Some people, you know, started the year in darkness. Some people still in darkness. Some people feel like they don't have nothing to be thankful for. But the way this world set up, everybody should just be thankful to be here and see it. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm grateful after all I've been through this year. And he still brought me out on top. You know what I mean? He still made it happen for me. In spite of all I was going through, the sicknesses, the disappointments. Well, not this year. This year, to be honest, well, last year, last year was like so much, like it was peaceful. I was growing into my new environment, as things, panned out and went forth. God started doing other things in my life. He started giving me clarity. He started showing me, the direction that He wanted me to go to, the target that I needed to be targeting. He showed me that I don't have to tear down my brothers and sisters in order to be elevated to the next level. Showed me that I don't have to carry around hurt and pain in spite of. He told me that I don't have to dwell on the past, and just not, man. God is good. Tell you. Let me tell you. I made a post earlier and I said that I'm thankful for they getting it on out here. All right, Happy New Year's outside. I remember the years I would be out there, I'm telling you. Anyway, I made a post on my community wall and I said that I'm thankful for my less at the time. And I made that post and I made that comment because a lot of times you are overlooked because you have less. But God knows what He is doing and why He has you in the space that He has you in at the time. And so when he, when it's His time to give you more, He will. But He won't give you more until He's sure that you know what to do with it. And sometimes He'll give you more and let you hang yourself, allegedly. And so I'm thankful for my less at the time when I was out there in the world, at the time where, I couldn't understand, why, people were doing this or treating me a certain way or, you know, a dark state. You know what I mean? You don't have to buy friends. You don't have to buy no one to support you. You don't have to buy love. You know what I mean? It's up to you to love yourself. It's up to you to love yourself. You can't force nobody to love you. You can't make nobody love you. And when all said and done, when God is ready to do what He's going to do in your life, He will do you. He will do it. But a lot of times, you have to give up certain things. You have to let go of certain things. And you have to want to come out of the darkness. No matter what you go through, if you stay there and dwallow in it, if you lie to yourself when you know you really going through certain things, when you blame other people because of things that you are going through because you don't want to come out of the darkness, you can only blame yourself, you know? And so I'm thankful for being in the light, not in the light like you guys, but just in the light in my own alignment, in my own space, and just being thankful for God allowing me to love me even more than I did before. Because a lot of times people think that you're not supposed to love yourself, that they consider you loving yourself a form of being conceited or a form of you thinking you better than somebody. No, it just means that I know who I am. And it just means that it's okay with me knowing who I am, and it's okay with me not low grading myself to become irrelevant. That's it. And so a lot of times people won't understand you. People won't understand why you're not doing this or why you're not doing that. Because you don't have to do those things. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing in order for God to bless you. God's gonna bless you when He feels fit. When He feels that you are ready for the blessing and that you're gonna use the blessing and what He give you in the way that He feel fit, not that you feel fit. And that's where people go wrong. It's not to do with what you think you should be doing with the blessing. It's what God is telling you to do with the blessing. But a lot of times we just jump out there and we hear everything else except for what God is telling us. And that's where we mess up at. And so God had to bring you back, and have you sometimes start all over again. I got this saying, and I say I love it. I love a new do over. I love a do over because I'm always coming back stronger than ever. And this time, I kept going, I kept going, I kept going. I didn't get discouraged. I didn't allow pain to cause me to stop God's plan on what He has for me to do. I got away from those that I knew was trying to keep me down. Got away from those that were, how you say this? You have people in the world that will elevate and give out licenses and stuff to people because of their connection to them in the world, but not the connection in the spiritual realm, if that makes sense. And so 2 years ago, I made up my mind to pick up and go because I know what God was showing me. And people will try to convince you that you don't see what God is showing you, but that you the problem, that you the reason why certain things isn't happening in your life. A lot of times people take God's elevation and they misuse it. They misuse it in a way where they use it to elevate their friends. They use it to take the light off the wrongdoings of the people that's in their circle so that people will believe that, because I have this paper, because God trusted me to do the job, that I'm always making the right decisions when it comes to people attached to me and around me. And that's not true. So I had to decide to pick up a little bit of nothing and go to another part of the world because I know for a fact what God was showing me. And I know for a fact that God had more for me. But if I had to stay stuck in that space where people was trying to convince me that God couldn't use me, that I wasn't good enough for God, but yet they would take these people that are sleeping and doing and place them dead in the midst of the pulpit and keep you at the door as if God don't have nothing else for you. God got more for everybody. But if you're not sure what God is saying to you, you're going to stay stuck in those places where people want you to be. I bet you right now, people that I haven't seen in years, people that I don't even speak to, got a lot to say about me because I decided not to compromise God. I decided not to sit in those spaces that I know for sure that God didn't say that was okay. But because of people worldly connection to other people, they want to bring their friends along. You know, when God called you, He say even your friends, you have to tell them the truth of what God said. And if they want to go, they gotta go. They go. Let them go. But you gotta keep doing what God tell you to do. You cannot do what you think is right in the eyes of your friends, those that are from the world, that those are still that are living in the world, that are in sin just like other people. Everybody is a sinner. But they take people and they make it like, like God is doing these things, and they don't do the things that they doing worse than what they used to do. But because they're your friend and because of the attachment that you guys have in the worldly realm, they overlook the people that God is placing in the spiritual realm. And if God is really speaking to you, you can't sit amongst those people because nothing not gonna be right. You're gonna keep on wondering why not me? Why nothing is changing for me? How come I'm not elevating? How come I'm not growing? How come God isn't using me? How come? Because you're compromising who He is. You compromising the word of God. You compromising what He's telling you because somebody else is telling you that, but yet their actions ain't even lining up to what they telling you. And you stay there, you just as long as them. So I had to pack my things and go on another part of the world 2 years ago. Then I found myself in some of the same relationships, people that didn't appreciate me. Even though I wanted them to come along for the ride, or whatever the case. Like that saying equally yoke is real. Because I'm going to the church and you going to the club. It's just not going to work. So if you in the place where you not sure that that's the place that God has for you, then that's not the place that God has for you. Because you don't have to second guess what God has for you. And that's real. Anyway, Happy New Year's, everybody. Thank you for your support. And listen, don't feel bad. You are somebody too. When people start treating you like they matter and you don't, those are not your people. Family, friends, foes, they gotta go. You got people on social media, even your family, acting like they ain't active, but you see them commenting in other places. You know why? Because a lot of people are still in darkness and they don't want to believe that God has brought you to the light after all that you have been through. And don't be ashamed of what God has done for you. Don't be ashamed that God has brought you out of darkness. And don't let nobody feel like you don't deserve the blessings that you worked hard for. And don't be ashamed to not compromise who you are. Even if you got to do it by yourself, you get the job done and prove the devil a liar. You guys have a blessed New Year's. Again, thank you for your support. I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. Again, this has been a rough year for me, but through it all, we got the job done. We ain't out here in no mess because you don't have to do that. Everybody have a different job to do if that is in the will of God. Everybody's not equipped to do what everybody else is doing. Everybody goal, every mission isn't to do what everybody else is doing. There's an audience for everybody. So I thank you guys more than y'all know. And it's up from here. We are going into the New Year's in a position that nobody ever thought we would be in. Y'all be blessed. Love on those that love on you. And most of all, love on yourself. Be blessed.